Hi, guys.
Hi.
So we have several questions from people's Twitterverse that they have sent to you throughout the last few hours.
Mm-hmm.
We've picked the craziest, not the craziest ones. We've picked maybe a couple crazy ones. The first one comes from Gabby Monahan, directed specifically to you, Margot.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say that Jane is tougher than Tarzan?
I would say that she is tougher emotionally. He is tougher physically.
Do you agree with that?
I don't know, tougher physically.
Tougher? Yeah.
I mean, he is obviously physically.
He deals with pain exceptionally well. You know?
Right, but I think
Although,
like when they're
said
together,
that,
when they're alone, I think he's like really super whiny. He's really
Jane!
It really hurts. I see Jane is probably like, come on, get over it, get over it.
Weird that they did that.
Yeah, there's a scene in the beginning of the movie where he stubs his toe.
Whining
He's like,
and crying about it.
She's like, get over yourself.
Yeah.
It's like, this again.
It's just a cold, John.
John has man flu. I get it.
I can't breathe through my nose.
A lot of people wanted to know just a fun fact that you've learned about the other throughout this process. So give me a fun fact about her and vice versa.
Well, that Margot is incredibly adventurous and loves a good time. And I really appreciated that during the shoot because I couldn't drink for like 9 months and I was on a very strict diet. So my weekends would consist of basically going to the gym, eating my little blocked food, and sleeping. While Margot would go to a crazy music festival in Northern England and sleep in a tent and wake up by a 15-year-old peeing on her tent. And go backpacking through Europe, like sleep in hostels in Amsterdam. And so every Monday I'd be like, Margot, okay. What's it like? What's life like out there? Outside
and
the
what
gate?
did you eat? Tell me everything you ate.
Specifically
that. It was
that.
like food porn for Alex. I was like, I had this and I ate that, and for dessert I had that, and he was like welling up.
Because we both appreciate food a lot. So Margot felt my pain when I was sitting there with my little Tupperware box of chicken breast. And, like, and then what?
Did you torture him?
I did. No, I really felt bad. I mean, to begin with, I was like, I'm eating cake and you're not. And then after a while, I felt really bad for him, so I'd eat my food somewhere else so he couldn't see.
We get to see glimpses of the characters' teenage selves as they meet. So if you could go back in time and give a little piece of advice to your teenage selves, what would you tell them?
So many
Just get over yourself.
I would say everything seems like a really big deal now, but you're not going to remember any of this in a couple years. Don't stress. I'd also tell myself, don't wear those ugly glasses because you have 20/20 vision, and lying to the optometrist to get a pair of glasses because you're obsessed with Harry Potter right now is ridiculous and you look disgusting. So I would say that.
For you?
Well, get over yourself is one, and pay attention in French class.
It'd be so good to be able to speak French now.
You're there. You might as well pay attention.
Put in the time.
Yeah, put in the time, dude. You're actually physically there. You might as well.
And you will need it later.
Mais oui.
I like the phrasing of this question. Which of you would die on a stranded island first?
We got asked that question yesterday, and we both agreed.
It would be Alex.
It didn't take long.
I'd probably wait for him.
She would eat.
I would eat him. I'd wait for him to turn around, and then I'd smack him over the head with a coconut, and I'd have food for months.
He's very pretty, but she's a backstabber.
So, Margot's fans are the robbers. What are the
I can't believe this happened. Yeah, so yesterday he said that, and then I saw on Instagram someone was like, the robbers, we've set up a page, and I was like, this is great. And you know what?
I set up that page.
I actually number one fan.
Yeah, I have a tattoo in it.
So part two of this then is what are the Skarsgard fans called?
I spoke about this morning as well. We were Sophia and I were talking about it. We were like, what would like Alex's like fan group be called? Because you know, like Chris Pine has like the Pine Nuts, or I can't think of any others right now. But people have that. But what would yours be?
Well, I don't know.
Skarsgardians?
Skarsgardians?
That's pretty good.
Hey, that was good.
That's what I'm here for.
The Skarsgardians.
Will you run it?
I'll get it started later.
You're number one. You're the membership number one of the Skarsgardians.
He also has like a billion other brothers and like Skarsgards there. So you should copyright that name before they get on.
All right, I'm on it.
Yeah.
Or you're on it because you're running
I'll take
the
care
fan
of it.
site.
This is from Marion, another one I like the phrasing. Don't laugh at me, but were there actual gorillas on set?
Not a silly question at all. Because if I watched that movie, I would think, I think they've got real animals there some of the time. I know they can't all the time. But actually, no, we didn't. We had...
Well, we did get to hang out with some gorillas.
We did.
went to a gorilla sanctuary in Kent, a couple hours outside of London, when we were doing prep for the movie. And that was a pretty incredible experience.
That was amazing.
And it also made me realize, because I fight these guys in the movie, and being this close to a silverback made you realize, I was quite thankful that I don't have to fight them in real life.
Yeah, so powerful.
Initially, when you sign on to a Tarzan movie, you probably assume you're going to work with a lot of exotic animals. Were you relieved or disappointed?
I was packing my bags for Africa, and they're like, "Oh, never mind. You're only going to Watford, just up the road." It was actually great because we got to be in London for ages, so I was stoked with that. But yeah, it would have been interesting to work with animals, but when you try to do scenes, it just logistically it doesn't work out. Like even if just having a dog in a scene, it's just a nightmare. So
yeah,
it's probably better that we do.
Yeah, and again, like when you're up close with a silverback, you don't want to fight that guy.
Yeah.
A lot of the fans were interested too. That kind of leads to that. Is some of them that knew that you didn't go to Africa for the movie. Have you been to Africa on your own? Has anyone traveled there?
I've spent a year in Africa. I did. I shot a miniseries for HBO called Generation Kill. So we spent 7 months in the Namibian desert and in Maputo in Mozambique, and then I've done 2 movies in Africa. So I've been down there quite a bit.
Have you?
Yeah.
Which ones?
A Swedish movie and then a movie called The Giver in Cape Town. So all in all, it's been about probably around a year.
I'm so jealous. I haven't. I really, really want to.
I've never been to the Congo though. And we shot the movie or our stuff in Watford. It took about 5-6 months, and then they went down to Gabon in West Africa for about a month and a half to shoot all the plate shots. So basically, what you see in the movie behind us when we're running around on a little patch of grass in Watford it's not animated. It's actually from stuff we've shot or they shot down in Gabon. Of these amazing jungle sets or jungles, not sets, and waterfalls, the savannah. It's just incredible landscapes. So it's pretty exciting. The first time we got to see the movie, it's a surreal experience knowing that you're running around on a set in London and then you watch it and it so seamlessly like blends in with the backdrop. This amazing landscape. It's incredible.
And a lot of people wanted to know about the amazing experiences you had while shooting the movie, even though you were not necessarily in Africa. What was like a big, like really strong memory when you think about the time you were working on the movie?
I just loved being on the sets. I honestly, so they on one of the backlots they planted all this African grass a year before we started shooting and built a village, and I loved the Cuba Village set. Because we did spend so much time there, and it was just, it did start kind of feeling like home. And the jungle set was just the most magical thing you've ever seen in your life. And they built a ginormous jungle in this big hangar set, and it was big enough that you could run through it and not reach the other side. It was big enough that there was a river in the middle of it. There was like giant rain machines for when we did the monsoon sequence, and there was real plants in there. So it like started kind of creating its own like ecosystem, so you'd have bugs and like it smelt like a jungle. It was just the craziest thing, and it was so magical, and that was my favorite thing, being on the sets.
Yeah, they were pretty incredible.
And the waterfall. That's
yeah, an artificial waterfall where they just push a button and there's
like tons of water in Chief Mbongo's lair.
And like
it was nuts.
Quarry they built on.
I'd never, like every single person on that set was like, I've never seen sets like this on any film ever.
Yeah, it looked like an amusement park, basically.
Nuts.
And I loved the first first moment I got to swing on a vine was pretty amazing. It's like a childhood dream.
Yeah.
And you're like, this is actually happening. And I had Sam Jackson on my back doing it.
Which is exactly how you pictured it when you were a kid,
obviously,
right?
always as a kid, I was like, can you imagine like being Tarzan swinging through the jungle with Samuel L. Jackson on your back?
Let's get to the nitty gritty here. Who would win in a fight between Tarzan and Eric Northman?
That's a good. I kind of want to see that now.
Hot.
Oh my God, so hot.
So hot.
I want to see the mud wrestling. Well, I mean,
Is Erica really good? I haven't watched it.
well, he's a vampire, so he kind
He
of.
can't die?
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, you can stake him,
Oh.
and there's plenty of wood in the jungle for Tarzan to stake him.
Mm-hmm.
I can't really answer that question, so I have to go deeper and really explore this. It'd be an interesting fight to see.
I think Tarzan would win.
Yeah? You think you just like
But I haven't. I
grab a
don't know.
branch and make a stake and just get Eric?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
On a similar note, from Ella, what do you think would happen if Jane and Harley Quinn were stuck in a room together?
Oh my goodness. I would like to think that they become best friends. I think it would be a hilarious conversation. I don't know. I reckon they'd be friends. I actually think that they'd make friends.
Jacko wants to know from you, Alex. How excited is your dad to see this film?
He is more excited than anyone I know. When I got the job, he was more excited than I was. My father's a huge Tarzan fan since he was a little kid. So, yeah, we're actually going to Stockholm in about 2 weeks to do a premiere in Stockholm, and so he hasn't seen the movie yet.
Oh, he hasn't?
No.
Oh my goodness.
So
That'd be nice.
yeah, I'm a bit nervous about that. I'm really excited to watch it with him, but that's kind of the one guy I really hope he likes it.
As a kid, did you embrace his Tarzan fandom, or were you like, oh, that's a dad's
No, that's how I fell in love with Tarzan. He would show me the old Johnny Weissmuller movies, so we would watch those together, and I thought it was like the coolest character. Loved the jungle and all the animals. I thought it was like such a badass.
I missed one in the deathmatch category. Tarzan versus Harley Quinn. Who wins?
I don't know. I haven't seen the movie Suicide Squad, so I don't.
You don't need to see the movie to know Harley Quinn would definitely win.
Oh, she would?
Yeah.
All right. Well, Harley Quinn.
No, I don't know. No, maybe she wouldn't. Maybe she'd get distracted looking at Tarzan and be like, he's kind of cute. And then he would be able to knock her out.
What's her thing? Does she have like a superpower? Or?
No, she's just nuts.
She's just nuts.
And
Well, that goes a long way.
She's crazy and smart, which is a terrifying combination.
Oh, yeah, that is a very terrifying problem.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right, well, she'd have a good shot then.
I don't know. I think that'd be a pretty good fight as well.
Because Tarzan is not terrifying and he's not smart. So
Yeah, but he's
she'd beat
nice. You know, maybe he'd.
him. Oh,
play
hey,
nice.
how are you? What's your name?
Yeah,
And
maybe.
she'd be like,
Yeah, kind of. Because he'd be like, well, I'm not going to hit a girl. And she's like, psych. Maybe.
we have a couple of good spin-offs coming up here.
It's corporate synergy.
Yeah.
I don't know how deeply you've delved into sort of the Hollywood history of Tarzan, but do you have a favorite actor or a favorite iteration present company, except of course that's played Tarzan?
There's only one version of Tarzan in my mind, and that's Alexander Skarsgard's.
I love Alexander Skarsgård as Tarzan.
He did so well at that,
mean,
yeah.
Who would have thought? Like, I was so surprised when I saw the movie.
Interesting casting choice.
Because I was always a fan of Johnny Weissmuller, but then I saw this and I was like, wow, Alexander Skarsgård, like such a
Makes sense.
bold, interesting choice. You know?
Let's see, Sella wants to know, do you have any hidden talents?
I can drink like a lot of water very quickly.
And you can eat a lot of spaghetti
I
bolognese.
can eat a lot of spaghetti bolognese.
A lot.
And I can chug beer pretty quickly as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can consume things quickly, I guess.
You won the contest
I did.
against a dude who was like 220 pounds.
I won. I ate 4 kilos of spaghetti bolognese in
4
an hour.
kilos.
That's a lot.
That's like 8 pounds
Yeah.
of bolognese.
No, more. 2.2, 8. Yeah. What's your hidden talent?
I don't really have any. I was desperately trying, because I didn't want to be an actor, so I was desperately trying to find something as a teenager. But then I realized I was kind of shit at everything.
Do you know, interestingly enough,
So here I am.
I think you're good at making spaghetti bolognese. I'm good at eating spaghetti bolognese. We're kind of like a match made in heaven.
That's right. I've cooked you some food.
Yeah.
That's why we're such a great couple.
That's
great.
why we're the best couple.
Hey, I made some more food. And
Eat it.
I made 8 pounds of spaghetti bolognese, honey.
Do you guys, maybe even outside of the Tarzan franchise, would you want to work together again? Would you like to play totally different characters against each other?
Yes. No, I definitely, absolutely would.
Yeah.
Now is your time to say me too.
Me too. No, of course.
You can act sincerity if you want.
Yeah. I'm such a great actor, am I not? Yeah! Security. No, I think it's very obvious when you see the movie that Margot and I have a very, very strong connection, and we had a lot of fun together.
I really want to see Alex play like a villainous character. I want you to play like like some warped mastermind.
Okay.
I think that'd be cool.
And then
Yeah, you nailed it. That was it.
Thank you. That was my audition.
That was
this last one is from me. I like Tarzan has an interesting way of expressing affection, very lion-like. How did you guys navigate pulling that off on screen? Because that's not a thing that you do normally with another
like the scene when we're teenagers and he's literally like on my face and like messes my hair up and it's adorable.
Butt naked.
Naked too, and I'm like, that's lovely. So get off.
And I try to sniff your crotch.
Yeah, and I kick you.
Yeah.
Love at first sight.
Yeah, it's told in flashbacks how Tarzan and Jane met, and it's a somewhat kind of a funny moment where, because he's obviously just running around the jungle naked, and they see each other, and he's
she's like they're teenagers, so it's kind of like, oh my god, he's naked.
Yeah, and he doesn't really know what's okay and what's not okay, like the social norms don't really apply here. So
worked out well in the end.
he's exploring her. He walks up, and I guess Jane is intrigued, and it's like, wow, this is quite unusual, but I guess like this wild man, I'll let him do his thing, but then he crosses the line. Unintentionally, he doesn't know better.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, you guys. That was great. And
We ended on some crotch snipping.
So, yeah. It's weirdly where all our interviews end.
Yeah.
Publicists are like,